Hello, 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 and welcome to Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you all are here today. So, how was your Tuesday? How was your Tuesday? How was it? Hopefully, you had a good Tuesday. So, my Monday and Tuesday was very busy because we are learning some new things that we need to do for the school year since we are virtual here in the city of Philadelphia for the first part of the year. So we have been learning a lot of new things. Whew, a whole lot of new things, okay? Like at the end of the second day, I was kind of like, whoosh, you know, but I'm excited because there are some exciting new things to learn that will help my students. So I'm really excited about that. Um, Also, on my Tuesday, I harvested some more of my vegetables. I was really excited. So I kept my peppers on for longer than maybe they should have stayed on because I thought that they might get bigger. Because someone was like, oh, well, they may get bigger. So just leave them and let them stay. Unfortunately, they did not get bigger. And my green peppers started to turn red, which is not a bad thing. But I was like, yeah, let me go ahead, take them off because they might be sucking the energy from my plant to make more. So I was like, let me go ahead and take them off. I actually cooked with them last night. They were pretty tasty. Okay. What else happened on my Tuesday? Um, Nothing else much more than that. The only thing was that I did a lot of learning. So know that my young ones, my older young ones, please, please, please know that um, your teachers and the staff at your school are working very, very, very hard to make sure that you have a great experience learning virtually. If you are learning virtually for the whole first part of the year, if you are doing the hybrid model where you're at school some days and then at home some days, or if you have to learn with social distancing while you are at school. So do know that your teachers and your staff and your principals are working very, very, very hard to make sure that you have a great experience. So, do you see my shirt? Do you see it? So, as you both know, I have two nephews who are my favorite, both of them. Okay. And my nephew Thomas went here with his mom and he gave me a shirt and I wanted to wear it today. I was like, I want to show people. He bought me a gift. So that was very sweet of him. All right. So today, if you saw the teaser book, we are talking about dealing with problems and sometimes dealing with things that are scary. I know that during this time, when there is a lot going on in the world, and being a kid, sometimes that can be really scary. And you don't really know what to do about what's going on. You don't know how to deal with it. And especially doing this new virtual thing, you might have some problems and it will get really frustrating. So, how do you deal with a problem? Also, with all of the things that are going on in the world with, the virus and some of the things about racism and stuff like that, and things that you may see on the news, a lot of things may be scary. And sometimes, because of those huge things that are scary, Sometimes small things can seem scary too, and they might not be quite as scary as you think. So, that is what our two first books are going to be about. Let's go over those books, shall we? So, and of course, you all know about the chapter book. I'm excited because I want to know like what's going on after what happened to Teddy in Belly Up. Okay. So our first book, I've heard of this book. I never actually saw it and I never read it. So this book is called The Gruffalo. What the heck is a Gruffalo? The Gruffalo. This book is by Julia Donaldson and Alex Scheffler. The Gruffalo. I mean, he looks like a pretty nice guy. I could see how he could be scary. Let's find out about the Gruffalo today. And our main teaser book called What Do You Do with a Problem? Sometimes it is very, very difficult to figure out what exactly do you do with a problem. Okay, so what do you do with a problem? That is going to be our teaser book for today. We're going to find out, what do you do with a problem? And goodness gracious, last but not least, I'm excited because I want to find out what's going on. Who, as Miss Eileen said last week. Belly Up. We are finding out more little clues about possibly what happened to poor Henry the Hippo and why he went belly up. We got to find out what's going on, friends. I am excited about finding out who did it. Who did the deed to Henry the Hippo? Okay, so now let us get to, also, just so you remember, I need you to vote, friends. Vote, 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 vote for the time that you would want to see Miss Hope's reading hour broadcast during our back to school time. Because, of course, the time is going to have to change, right? So the choices are 5 p.m., 6 p.m., or 7 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I need for you all to vote. So on Facebook, in the Facebook group, there is a poll where you can go and vote. On YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, type in the comments what time would be best for you and your young ones. Okay. On Periscope, please type in the comments which time would be best for you. And on Instagram, type it into the comments of this video. Okay. So I need you to do that because there are some votes, not a whole bunch of votes, but whichever time has the most votes, that is the one we're going to go with. Okay. So now let us get to our first book, the teaser. What do you do with a problem? This book is by Kobe Yamada and illustrated by May Bessam. Okay. If you remember, we did read one of their books before. I actually love these books. They're so good. And I actually want to get the whole set. I think I'm maybe too shy. Remember Maybe that we read? Maybe is also by Kobe Yamada. Okay, so now remember we need some ambiance to go along with our reading, right? Just a minute. All right, now this has a paper cover. And I do believe that these books do not look the same as the paper cover, but I always do like what the hardback looks like. So there's our little person struggling with a problem. All right. And I like the color. You can't tell, but it's kind of like a deep purple color. I really like that color. All right. What do you do with a problem? I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but it was there. Why is it here? What does it want? What do you do with a problem? I thought. I wanted to make it go away. I shooed it. I scowled at it. I tried ignoring it. But nothing worked. I started to worry about my problem. What if it swallows me up? What if my problem sneaks up and gets me? What if it takes away all of my things? I worried a lot. I worried about what would happen. I worried about what could happen. I worried about this, and I worried about that. And the more I worried, the bigger my problem got. I wished it would just disappear. I tried everything I tried everything I could to hide from it. I even found ways to disguise myself. But it still found me. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. I couldn't take it anymore. This has to stop, I declared. Maybe I was making my problem bigger and scarier than it actually was. After all, my problem hadn't really swallowed me up or attacked me. I realized that I had to face it. So even though I didn't want to, even though I was really afraid, I got ready and I tackled my problem. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. My problem wasn't what I thought it was. I discovered it had something beautiful inside. I wonder what that was. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and to grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely because some opportunities only come once. Now I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it. The end. Man, that is such a good book. Oh my goodness. Every problem has an opportunity in it. It doesn't seem like it sometimes right when you're going through it. But if you think hard enough and if you deal with it, sometimes it's really hard not to worry about that problem. I know. Sometimes it's really hard not to worry about that problem. But if you just face it and you deal with it, there's an opportunity there to get past it and something beautiful on the other side. So that is what to do with a problem. I will tell you a secret. I was having a few rough days and I was really sad and didn't want to deal with my problem. And I remembered that I bought this book and I sat down and I read it and I felt so much better because I realized that there was an opportunity in my problem. So, because we all know that this year, at least the beginning of this school year, might be kind of different and kind of difficult, this, my parent teacher friends, may be a really good book for you to get to read to your students and to put something in their mind to remember for the times when they come up against a problem. Okay? All right. Now, next up to our next book called The Gruffalo. So as I said, I've heard of this book, but I never read this book. So I would like to read it for you. The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson and Alex Scheffler. Let's see what's so scary about this here Gruffalo. Okay. A mouse took a stroll through the deep dark wood. A fox saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. "Where are you going to, little brown mouse?" "Come, have lunch in my underground house." "It's terribly kind of you, fox, but no, I'm going to have lunch with a Gruffalo." "A Gruffalo? What's a gruffalo? A gruffalo? Why, didn't you know? Slick little mouse, ain't he? He has terrible tusks and claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws. Why are you meeting him? Here. Well, where are you meeting him? Here, by these rocks. And his favorite food is roasted fox. Roasted fox? Oh my, the fox said. Goodbye, little mouse, and away he sped. Silly old fox. He doesn't know. There's no such thing as a gruffalo. Told you he's pretty slick. On went the mouse through the deep dark wood. An owl saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Join me for tea in my treetop house. It's frightfully nice of you, owl, but no. I'm going to have tea with a gruffalo. A gruffalo? What's a gruffalo? A gruffalo. Why, didn't you know? He has knobbly knees and turned out toes and a poisonous wart on the end of his nose. Where are you meeting him? Here by this stream. And his favorite food is owl ice cream. Owl ice cream? To it? To who? Goodbye, little mouse. And away the owl flew. Silly old owl, doesn't he know? There's no such thing as a gruffalo. On went the mouse through the deep dark wood, and a snake saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come for a feast in my log pile house. It's wonderfully good of you, snake, but no, I'm having a feast with a gruffalo. A gruffalo? What's a gruffalo? A gruffalo? Why, didn't you know? His eyes are orange. His tongue is black. He has purple prickles all over his back. Where are you meeting him? Here by this lake. And his favorite food is scrambled snake. Scrambled snake? It's time I hid. Goodbye, little mouse. And away the snake slid. Silly old snake. Doesn't he know? There's no such thing as a gruffalo. Oh, but who is this creature with terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws? He has knobbly knees and turned out toes and a poisonous wart on the end of his nose. His eyes are orange, his tongue is black. He has purple prickles all over his back. Oh, help! Oh no! It's a gruffalo! There is a such thing. My favorite food, the gruffalo said. You'll taste so good on a slice of bread. Good, said the mouse. Don't call me good. I'm the scariest creature in this deep dark wood. Just walk behind me and soon you'll see everyone is afraid of me. Oh, sure, said the Gruffalo, bursting into laughter. You lead the way and I'll follow after. They walked and walked till the Gruffalo said, I hear a hiss in the grass ahead. It's a snake, said the mouse. Why, Snake, hello. Snake took one look at the Gruffalo. Oh dear, he said, goodbye, little mouse, and slid right into his log pile house. You see, said Mouse, I told you so. Amazing, said the Gruffalo. They walked some more till the Gruffalo said, I hear a hoot in the trees ahead. It's Owl, said the Mouse. Why, Owl, hello. Owl took one look at the Gruffalo. Boo-hoo, he said, goodbye, little mouse, and fled right up to his tree-top house. You see, said the mouse, I told you so. Astounding, said the Gruffalo. They walked some more till the Gruffalo said, I hear some paws on the path ahead. It's Fox, said the mouse. Why, Fox, hello. Fox took one look at the Gruffalo. Oh, help, he said. Goodbye, little mouse, and ran right into his underground house. The mouse said, Gruffalo, now you see, everyone is afraid of me. But now my tummy is starting to rumble. My favorite food is Gruffalo crumble. Gruffalo crumble, the Gruffalo said, and quick as the wind, he turned and fled. All was quiet in the deep dark wood. The mouse found a nut, and the nut was good. The end. So, this was a good book. I do like this. I like the Gruffalo. So the mouse kind of turned his problems on their head, like, oh, well, I'm going to see the Gruffalo. He wasn't exactly telling the truth about that Gruffalo situation. But all of a sudden, he meets the actual Gruffalo. And the Gruffalo is hungry and wants him for lunch. Then he's like, okay, so I have a problem. This Gruffalo wants to eat me. What am I going to do? The Gruffalo decides, there is an opportunity here. I have already told these other animals who want to eat me about said Gruffalo. So why not let the Gruffalo come with me? They will see the Gruffalo and be terrified, but the Gruffalo will think that they are scared of me. See, there's always an opportunity, okay? And the Gruffalo looked really, really scary, right? But when you look at your problem, it may seem big and scary, but it's all in the way you handle the problem, right? Because the mouse was the smallest of all the animals. But when you use your brain and you think your way out of a problem, sometimes you can get out of a situation and find the opportunities in the problem. Very good book, The Gruffalo. Oh, my friends, where are my glasses? Just a second, I must reach over and get my specs. Because now, my friends, it is time for Belly Up. Now, let me clean my glasses, friends. In our last installment of Belly Up, we found that the whole security team of Fun Jungle had to come to the reptile exhibit. Oh, these are really still dirty. Just a moment. So, the whole security team had to come to Fun Jungle. The whole Fun Jungle security team, had to come to the reptile exhibit. What exactly was it called? I want to remember exactly what it was called. Let's see. All right, let's see. World of Reptiles. There you go. So, Teddy found out that someone tried to do him in because he thought that Summer was the one who sent him the text message to meet her at World of Reptiles next to the Black Mamba exhibit. But someone had cut a hole in the glass case of the Black Mamba. So Teddy realizes the Black Mamba is out. It's somewhere in here and it could bite me and it is poisonous and I could die. But he quickly realizes that was not Summer who sent me that text message. Someone knows that I am trying to get close to what happened to poor Henry the Hippo and why he went belly up. Remember, Summer found that Jack playing piece with the ball endings shaved off to a sharp point in Henry the Hippo's pool. Someone knows that they found it. Of course, Doc knows because Teddy told him. And he told Teddy, listen, you're only 12 years old. Leave this whole situation alone. And remember, Doc was in the hospital room, the animal hospital room, doing an autopsy on a dead jaguar. But no jaguars were seen yet in Fun Jungle, even though they were supposed to have their own exhibit. So now Martin Delgado has called all of Fun Jungle security, and they're trying to find out what exactly happened in that Black Mamba exhibit. Now, Mr. Matthews, he has found out that he has told them that there are cameras everywhere, and we may be able to see the person who did the deed with the Black Mamba. That is where we are, friends. Now, let's get back to the rest of chapter 9, I believe, World of Reptiles. Okay. Buck's phone rang. He checked the caller ID and smiled. It's Matthews, he told us, then answered, "What have you got?" I couldn't hear what Matthews said, but Buck suddenly looked like he'd sat on a tack. "What?" he asked. "How did that happen?" Whatever Matthews said next made him madder still. Buck noticed us all staring at him, then signaled us to stay where we were and stormed around the corner into the Triassic period. Martin started after him, desperate to know what was going on. But then Pete Thwacker came racing down the hall. "Martin," he yelled, "what's going on? I've been trying to reach you for an hour." "Someone let the mamba out," Martin replied. "Mamba? What's that? A dance?" Almost everyone sighed with annoyance at once. "It's a snake," Martin said, pointing to the sign. "The world's most dangerous snake. Someone let it out." "In here?" Pete scrambled onto a bench, terrified. "Shouldn't we evacuate?" "Calm down, you idiot," Martin snapped. "You think we'd all be here if it wasn't safe? The herpetologists have cleared the hall." Pete looked relieved, but also confused. He probably thought the herpetologist was someone who studied herpes. "Why did you bring them?" "They're people who study reptiles," Mom explained. She pointed to a group of them. They waved back. "Oh," Pete cautiously got down off the bench. "So if the snake's not here, where is it?" The herpetologists all shrugged. Martin said, "We're assuming it's still in the building, which means we have to shut World of Reptiles down until we find it." "So what do you want? A press release?" "God, no. If we tell the media we're closing another exhibit, they'll start bad-mouthing the park. It's only the dang reptile house. We're going to do this under the radar. Lock the doors and put a sign up saying the building's temporarily closed for some reason or another. Maintenance issues? Whatever. Just don't mention the snake. Any idea how long it will be closed?" Martin turned to the herpetologist. How long it'll take to find the snake?" They all shrugged again. "Honestly," one asked, "if it got into the atrium, there's a billion places for it to hide. We might never find it." Martin gaped at them aghast. "What?" "Miami Metro Zoo lost a Burmese python once," the herpetologist replied. "It took them 6 months to find it. And the thing was 35 feet long. A mamba's small and black. It could be anywhere." Martin rubbed his temples. He appeared to be in dire need of Pepto-Bismol. "That's unacceptable. Let's do everything we can. Get every available person in here tomorrow and sweep this place top to bottom. If we can't find the snake, then I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it." "You'd think about opening back up again?" Pete asked. "Do you realize that what a PR disaster it'd be if a guest got bitten by a samba?" "Mamba," everyone corrected. "You want to talk disasters?" Martin asked. "Think about what J.J. McCracken will do if we try to shut down a brand new $20 million building for a year." While Pete considered that, Buck stormed back around the corner, mad as though he'd been hit by a snake. He'd been bit by a snake. "We don't have the records," he announced. This, on the tail of everything else that had gone wrong, made Martin look like he might explode. "What?" How on earth? I don't know. I'm on my way over there to find out. Matthew says the entire security feed from World of Reptiles went down tonight for an hour, starting at 6:30. I quickly did the math in my head. World of Reptiles closed at 6:30, half an hour before the rest of the park. That would have given someone half an hour to enter the building, cut the glass, and free the snake without being recorded. The missing hour of footage would also have covered the entire time I was in the building. So there was no proof of who had set the mamba free, and no proof that I hadn't. It's the dang electrical contractor JJ hired, Buck was saying. Lazy, cost-cutting nitwit. The best quality cameras in the world don't mean squat if the wiring's lousy. This isn't the first time this has happened, you know. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I answered it warily, fearing it might be whoever tried to get me killed again. Instead, it was Summer. Dude, she said, I heard someone tried to kill you. I was thrilled to hear her voice. Yeah, I said, hold on. With all the conversations going on around me, it was way too loud to talk. I slipped around the corner into the dinosaur area. In such a hurry to get some privacy, it didn't even occur to me I was entering an area where the mamba might be still loose. The dinosaurs had been shut down for the night. They all were frozen in mid-roar. I stopped by a Dimetrodon. That's a tongue twister. To talk. How'd you hear about me? Daddy. Buck called him. And he called me because apparently whoever lured you in there used a fake text from me as bait. How sick is that? Pretty sick. Are you okay? Yeah, fine. I didn't ever really see the snake. Still, if it was me, I would have had a meltdown. I hate snakes. Can you meet tomorrow? My heart nearly leapt out of my chest. I did my best to sound calm, though. Sure. Yeah, I think so. Cool. Because you have to give me the skinny on everything that happened. I mean, whoever did this is obviously the same guy who knocked off Henry, right? We must discuss. Plus, I found another lead myself. Something creaked softly behind me. I turned around in time to see Large Marge duck behind a stegosaurus. It was practically the only thing in the whole park big enough for her to actually hide behind. Still, it left her within easy eavesdropping range. I wondered how much of my call she'd already heard. What is it? I asked. Let's just say Henry had more enemies than you'd think. Who? I need to tell you in person. Don't trust the phones. Who'd want to tap your phones? Who wouldn't? Meet me where we had lunch, 11 sharp. Okay. Oh, and Teddy? I'm glad you're still alive. Me too. Summer laughed, even though I hadn't meant to be funny. See you tomorrow, she said, then hung up. I was upset the conversation had been so short, but excited to have an excuse to see her again. It almost made having someone try to kill me seem worth it. Chapter 10, Summer's Lead. It turned out to be harder to make the appointment with Summer than I'd expected. For the first time in my life, Mom wanted me to stay by her side all day. I don't want you running around Fun Jungle all by yourself, she explained as we headed to Monkey Mountain. It's too dangerous. Not during visiting hours, it's not, I replied. No one's going to try to hurt me with 1,000 tourists around. In truth, I wasn't completely sure this was true, but meeting up with Summer seemed worth the risk. It's not long term, just until security finds whoever tried to hurt you last night. That might take weeks. What am I supposed to do? Hang out in your office all day? Maybe. Oh, come on, Mom. You let me be by myself all the time in Africa, and there were a ton of dangerous animals there. Mom grabbed my hand and stopped walking, wanting me to pay attention, complete attention to what she had to say. This is different, Theodore. I knew you could handle yourself in Africa because animals aren't really that dangerous. They rarely try to harm people unless they've been provoked. And even on those occasions, they're not that hard to scare away. But humans are different. If a human really wants to hurt you, he won't give up that easily. He'll keep coming after you. He'll keep trying new tactics until he finds one that works. What you've gotten involved in here isn't a game. This is dangerous, and you need to behave accordingly. Okay, I said. I meant it too. Until that point, I hadn't realized how worried my mom was about me, and her words got me more concerned about my safety as well. But from my point of view, meeting up with Summer to pursue our investigation was looking out for my safety. Mom might have believed we could trust Fun Jungle's security force to find out who'd been behind the Mamba incident, but I didn't. First, they hadn't seemed too intent on investigating in the first place. Second, they weren't a real police force. Buck Grassley might have had some law enforcement experience, but most of his people didn't. Many didn't seem that much more competent than Large Marge, who couldn't have found a criminal if he was mugging her in broad daylight. So it made sense that my best way to protect myself was to find the bad guy before he tried to hurt me again. If Summer had a lead, it ought to be investigated. And unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anyone willing or capable to follow up on it besides us. Of course, I couldn't tell Mom any of this. I hadn't even told her that I planned to meet up with Summer again. She would have argued that our investigation stood a better chance of getting me into more trouble than getting me out of it. Mom was overprotective like that. Moms are overprotective like that, even mine. So I pretended to be the perfect kid all morning. I went to work with Mom and stayed in her office, reading a book while she worked on her computer. Well, I tried to read a book. Truth was, I could barely concentrate. I was eager to see Summer again and find out what her big lead was. And I had to be constantly on alert for a chance to sneak away. I'd never had time to pass so slowly in my life. Worse, Mom spent an unusual amount of time in her office that morning. Most days, she'd been working with the gorillas in one way or another, taking care of them in their private quarters or maybe observing them out in the yard. But not that morning. She just sat at her computer, didn't even take a bathroom break. As the minute hand slowly crept toward 11, I was beginning to think I'd have to text Summer to say our meeting was off when I got an idea. One of Mom's innovations at Monkey Mountain was the camera grid. There were dozens of cameras in the exhibits, which allowed her and any other primatologist to monitor the animals from their computers. There were 30 in the gorilla habitat alone. There wasn't a place the apes could go and not be recorded. This was exciting for Mom, as it was for the first time it was the first time she'd ever been able to watch her son without them knowing she was watching. As much as Mom could fade into the background in the wild, the gorillas never completely forgot she was there, and that would inevitably have some slight effect on their behavior. But the gorillas didn't know about the cameras. Obviously, being in a zoo affected their behavior too, but the exhibit at Fun Jungle was so well designed. Mom claimed it was as close to the wild as she could get without going back to Africa. There were also security cameras in the building, and all those could be accessed from the researchers' computers as well. I'd known about all of these before Buck Grassley had mentioned them the previous night, although I hadn't been aware that every building at Fun Jungle was as well wired as Monkey Mountain, or that all the cameras fed into a central security bank. Sometimes, when the gorillas were close to the glass of their exhibits, Mom used the security cameras to get better views of them. Mom shared her office with another primatologist who was at the vet lab with a sick squirrel monkey that day. He'd left his computer on. I got on it and started surfing through the camera feeds. It didn't take long to find a park guest breaking the rules. In fact, I had several moronic rule breakers to choose from. An obese man was blowing raspberries at the macaws. A skinny woman was trying to get a vegetarian colobus monkey to accept a hot dog. And a father was actually dangling his 5-year-old daughter over the railing in a misguided attempt to let her pet a baboon. Thankfully, the baboon was smarter than the father and kept its distance. But the winners of the Most Annoying Visitors Award were a trio of teenagers. They were banging on one of the gorilla exhibit's big plate glass windows, riling the apes. Of course, there were plenty of signs telling them not to do this for fear of upsetting the animals. But they obviously wanted to upset the animals. They laughed and howled as the gorillas reacted to their idiocy. Tembo, a silverback male, stood on his hind legs, making aggressive postures, while the females and children leapt about agitated. A lot of tourists had gathered to watch. Most seemed to realize the teens were doing something wrong, but no one had the nerve to tell those jerks to stop. But no one but my mother, that is. "Hey, Mom," I said, "look at this." She glanced over and was instantly filled with rage. Mom never liked to see animals being tormented, but she was extremely protective of her gorillas. As I suspected, she immediately snapped to her feet and stormed toward the door. "Stay here," she told me. "I'll be right back." So we will end there. Okay, so the real Summer contacted Teddy. Now, I stopped there because I knew if I read any more, I would go over time because I want to find out what happened. Okay, so the real Summer finally gets in contact with Teddy and finds out that the security cameras have malfunctioned and did not see any of the footage from 6:30 until 7:30, which was around the time that Teddy was inside of World of Reptiles and near the Mamba exhibit. So now we have no idea who cut the hole in the glass of the Mamba exhibit. So Buck Grassley is very upset. Martin Delgado is just like, close the thing down. We don't, just close it down and say it's for maintenance or whatever you want to say. Poor Pete Thwacker, he really kind of seems like he doesn't know exactly what's going on. Teddy's mom wants him to stay right next to her and has him in her office like you can't get out. I don't want you out in the park. But he's supposed to meet Summer at 11 o'clock at their original rendezvous point. But he's like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do it because my mom is not letting me out of her sight. So, a problem. But instead of just saying, Summer, I'm not going to be able to meet you today, he finds the opportunity and looks at the cameras where the gorillas and the primates are and sees someone banging on the glass where the gorillas are. And knowing that his mom would be very upset and go to the gorilla encampment, that may be his way to get out. But is Teddy's mom going to say something to the staff there at Monkey Mountain and say, listen, don't let Teddy out of this building? Is she going to talk to security there and say, don't let Teddy out of your sight? Is she going to send someone else in? So when he gets to the door, someone's there to say, oh, Teddy, where are you going? Or will Teddy be able to get out and meet with Summer? What is the lead that Summer has? She has more evidence. How did she get it? And what is it? Well, my friends, unfortunately, we are going to have to wait until a fabulous Friday to find out all of this information. More questions, but waiting for this other clue. First, it's the sharpened jack. What is the next clue? We got to find out on Friday. Okay. So we are now at the end of another great Miss Hope's Reading Hour. I cannot wait to be back with you again on a fabulous Friday so we can find out what is going on, my friends. Now let's go over the books that we read today. So our book, The Gruffalo, a book about problem solving. A big problem. How do you solve it with this little mouse and this big, crazy looking Gruffalo? The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson and Alex Scheffler. Very good book. And our teaser book, which is so great. I would dare say it is good for children and adults. Good book. What to Do with a Problem by Kobe Yamada and illustrated by May Bessam. So glad we got to read this book. There's one more that I have that's in the series. I think there's maybe 2 more books that I have to get, but I have one more that's in the series and we will read that one at a different time. So thank you so much for being here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. So glad to be with you. So glad to read with you. Remember, please vote for the time that you would like for Miss Hope's Reading Hour to be broadcast during the back to school time, either 5 p.m., 6 p.m., or 7 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay? So until next time, I will see you next time on a fabulous Friday at 3 o'clock, right back here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Until then, see you next time.